Got to get the Roadster chassis over here so we can get the Z on it. It's back here, so let's do it. Come on. We're going to take this other one with us. Make it a little bit easier. Woo. All right. Hopefully we can get that past that truck bed that used to go on that frame back there. Close over here. Let's move you guys. That'll work. Yeah, I think we can do it. Steer this sucker. I better get the oil up. Yeah, my towing's not set yet. This is what happens when you buy and sell parts. Run out of space. All right. We got her in here. This is where we're gonna try to get this Z done. We gotta knock this sucker out. We gotta get the Roadster body on here, and we need to get this thing going because time is of the essence. All right, I've got her leveled up. I ended up putting the jack stands underneath there. The front is just on the axle. I've got a couple of 2x4s under the tires. I've got that jack underneath the rear end, just holding the rear end up so that it doesn't sag. So, I've got it all plumbed up, and I'm fixing to work that Z over right in here. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my Z together, build it, get it all welded together, and get them ready to go in here, and then I can move them around and adjust them and see where I need to cut it at, just to make sure. All right, we're going to cut some tubing up here. I've already made my drawing of what I thought I needed on there. With a few measurements, just measuring from the frame to the ground, from the top of the spring to the ground, and just a bunch of mathematics stuff with a calculator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I've already made some marks on this one and this one. I'm going to cut these out and get this welded up, and then what I will do is I'll take these other two pieces and make the same marks on those, and then I'm going to line them up on top and weld them so that they're identical. I'll clamp them so that they're flush with each other and there's no variant between the two. So we'll have two solid rear pieces. Always wear your ear protection, guys. That way you don't have tinnitus and have to hear that ringing sound at night when you lay down in the bed. I've already got that one. A lot of times I like to hide the, whoa, whew, that was crazy. Did not know that that was in there. Check this out. Oh, that's pretty gross too. Oh man. No, we're not building rat rods, that's for sure. That's pretty janky. That was not scripted. I better check if there's anything else down in here. I guarantee you, that is freaky. Man, I had no idea that was in there. I'm pretty surprised right now. Kind of threw me off my game here. All right, let's get back to it. I got dead mice floating around everywhere. Okay, let's get this one off here. Put the other one. And we have to plug it in. It always helps to plug them in. Okay. In there. That was freaky. So I laid out the measurements on the table here so that I could kind of work off of that and kind of keep myself on track. And everything's squared up on these lines. And the good thing is I can always take some acetone and wipe all that off. So even if I don't ever need it again. That is pretty much what I had figured now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and clean all this up, clean my edges up, and then I'll tack it into place, and then I'll probably clamp this down. And then I'll burn in the bottom, burn in the outside here, and then that top, and then let it cool while it's clamped down, and then I'll flip it over. Grind that off, grind it smooth on this side at least, and then flip it over. Clamp it down and burn it in on the other side. That way I get one nice piece. And yes, I am going to put gussets on here. I'll run a gusset probably on the inside because I'm going to build these. This is going to come up and back, and it's going to fit right inside the stock sub rails for the 31 Roadster. So that way I don't have to cut out any sub rails. So I've got it figured out on my frame over there, right where it needs to be to come up and fit right inside that. Then that way the trunk floor will just come up and box this in. And I won't have any weird spaces in there. There we go, perfect. All right, now you can see how that's beveled good. Now when I burn that in and I grind that back smooth, that all that V right there will be full of weld. And I even did it back here too a little bit so that I can knock that down. And then my gusset will go over here, and that'll put extra strength in there. When I put that gusset in there, that gusset will spread the load. I can weld that right there and then leave the weld there. And the thing is, that weld in that V will be, say this is 1/8 inch wall, that weld may be 3/16 because I'll lay a fat bead on that. But then the strength is right in that bead, and then it's weak on the edges. So that's why I'm going to put a gusset in here around the outside. That'll help spread that load, because if there's any tension here, because the spring's going to be pushing up here on this. So if there's any tension, that'll spread that load out on that gusset that goes in there. And I don't really have an angle on this, just other than my drawing angle. I don't have an actual degrees on this. I just kind of thought I don't want 45 because 45 would be way out there. And I was like, that's about 30 degrees, I think is what it was. So I think that'll work pretty good. Those long ones tend to stretch when you tighten them down. They go. Oh. Gotta spot this one in and get it tacked. Just gonna go ahead and burn this one in. We'll grind that all off anyway. Have to get it to go. All this is gonna get ground off, so I'll go ahead and grind them down. Knock them out. Kind of going back and forth, but we're going to get it done. It's still a little warm. Not too bad. Let's knock her down. Good to go. Now we're going to use it as a template or guide for that other one there. That is pretty much kind of standard practice as far as hot rod frames. If you're going to build a frame like a T-bucket or something similar, you would use the same material. This is just 2x3 8-inch wall tubing. Even if you wanted to do Z for a bagged car or truck, you can make it right out of that and do the exact same thing I'm doing. Just get your dimensions together and start cutting some tubing out. That's all you gotta do. Now if your cuts are just a little bit off, not really a big deal because you're going to weld it up anyway, so get it as close as you can there. You want to get these gaps about as tight as you can get them. I think that needs to go that way. Yeah, it does. Use that square. Make sure that thing's against it. And then we'll do the same thing on this one. And that one. So that one needs to come out a little bit. There we go. Good to go now. They're exactly the same except for that one's a little longer. Because I just rough cut them, but those two are perfect. So let's see. I may have to do this a little different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp this one to that one. See if we can get that one in there. Right. Oh yeah. holding that for now, but I need to go ahead and grind that one, and then I can flip it over. And those are absolutely perfect. Gas. There you go. There it is. Now, ready to go. So here is basically what's going to happen. I've already got my frame marked here inside there. I'm basically going to put that just about like that right there. I'll make sure this is level to the frame because the frame is already level, so I'll level this up and we'll set it right inside that. Let's see. Yeah, I'll set it about right there. And then that'll, of course I got it kicked way up, but when I get that down on there, I'm going to lower it down just low enough to where it kisses that spring there. I think that'll get it just low enough. The thing is, if I get it too low, no big deal. I can always put a spacer in here and raise it up. If I don't get it low enough, there's really not a whole lot more I can do with this. The way this early Ford suspension and rear end is set up, there's not a whole lot of stuff I can do to get it any lower other than maybe longer shackles. There is one kit from Carrillo's Customs. I follow him on Instagram. He actually makes a piece that bolts to the stock wishbone and then bolts to the rear end. So basically what that does is that gets the rear end up off the wishbone. I think they're like 2.5 or 3 inches. I think seems like he has two different lengths. So, but 2.5 inches is a lot. If you only need like 1 inch or 1.5 inches, then the only thing you could really do would be to lengthen those shackles. And you don't want to go real long on the shackles. I wouldn't go much more, probably over 1 inch of what's already factory on there. So if I can get it as low as I can right now, then I can always raise it up, and that gives me more clearance too. If I set it up to where I have just very minimal clearance on this and I have to go lower, then I'm kind of screwing myself. So I'm just going to set it up right now. This Z is going to attach that frame rail like this, and I think it's going to have plenty of room for the new wishbone. These are actually these are the stock 35 wishbones. And you can see how far they are up there. They're way up there. This is going to end up getting cut off probably about, I would say 18 to 22 inches, somewhere in there. So that would move that wishbone mount back to about maybe right in there, which is actually perfect for this other set of wishbones I have. I did a little trading with my buddy Toby. I think that's where I got them from. And I got these wishbones. I've never seen 35-36 style wishbones this short. Almost all, well, actually all the wishbones on early Fords from 35 to I think 40 or 41 are super long like this. When they went to the 42 to 48 style, they were real short on the torque tube. So if you're buying a rear end from just by glancing at it, if it's got the shorter torque tube or if it's got the shorter wishbones on it, it's a later rear end, which is, I think it's 1.5 inches or 2 inches wider than the earlier ones. But these are actually going to be perfect, because once I replace these on this rear end, that's going to put my mount almost up there just right, and I won't have to shorten these long ones. So, and I won't have to cut them and bend them. These are already angled and bent correctly to mount right up there. So if anybody recognizes these wishbones, they're 35, 36 style, but they're super short. I mean, look how short that thing is. It's like 4 foot tall or something. Low 4 foot. If anybody recognizes them, please let me know. A friend of mine thought they might be Lincoln, but I have no idea. They're marked V8 37s, but V8 37 what? I'm going to go ahead and clamp this sucker up here. That way I can kind of figure out, kind of get a look, if I can hold it up there and clamp it at the same time. I don't know if I can or not. Set that in an angle, see if I can do this. This would be magic if I can do it. You kidding me? Can't believe I did that. Now we can angle that back where we want it at. Get them level. And right now this frame sits like this. But with the subframe is actually straight because the body overhangs in the middle quite a bit. And your rear mount is right here on the spring cross member, the original spring cross member. So I'm going to turn these to where they're parallel with each other. That way that'll get me right inside that subframe. But this will give me a little bit of a, and that's perfect right there. That's going to look pretty cool though, actually. It's going to look real cool. I like that. I just brought them back just past the spring because there's nothing else. There's a gap probably 8 to 10 inches past the spring back there. And I'm going to clear all that, no problem. That actually is going to look really cool. Well, let's keep moving forward. It's kind of late. It's almost 10 o'clock, I think. Yep, 9:52. So I think I'm going to wrap it up for the evening. And we'll get back on this sucker tomorrow. Let's make these two match now. Square it. Found it. Okay. And I can't get down there. Come on, Messi. Perfect. Yeah. Looking good. Now, I need to figure out where my tube's gonna go. Mark that one so I can switch to. I gotta drill my holes there. So the tube can get in there, and I'm gonna round those ends too when I get done. So, first side. So I'm gonna go ahead, well, that's actually already marked, so that's good. Go ahead and mark this other one here. that sucker down. Gonna get the whole saw action. Yeah. Right there. Whoop, there it is. I'll clean that up. I'm gonna get done anyway. Get ready to paint it. Tape measure 35.5. Maybe. Harbor Freight crap. Because I really need to set this in here. Whew, that's a ways apart. That's right. My calculations are correct. Oh yeah, those need to go in there too. See, those are going in there like that. I need to trim those though. These are going to go flat on the mount like that, but I'm going to trim right up to that hole. That way I can weld that pipe to that mounting plate. Let me do that real quick. Thinking about it. That's how close. That's how much I took off right there. I just barely skimmed that hole, and that piece is still in there. There you go, both of them. It's like a little hair. That's all we needed. So, let's see what our measurement is right there. Man, I'm just having a hard time there. I have to upgrade, see if I can get me a Harbor Freight coupon. Get another. Man. That is 35 3/4. That's perfect. So it needs to be 36 inches wide, 35 3/4 here, an 1/8 on each side for the frame. 36 inches. So now I just need to bend that one out there at 36 inches. I got the marks over there on the other side ready to go. I'm going to double check them one more time just for fun. So I'm measuring these lines straight down the frame rail. 17 3/8 and 20 9/16. 17 3/8 and 20 9/16. Good to go. Let's chop it out. Let's make a window, y'all. I hope this works. Let's see. Man. It needs to go down just a little bit more. That thing needs to go down the back just a little bit, so what I need to do is I need to chop about 1/8 inch off that. I'll check this out. It's almost perfectly lined up. Okey-dokey. Oh, That actually worked a little better there that time. Oh man, that's right on the dang money, y'all. Okay. Get them goggles off now. I can actually see better. See what that thing is. That's right on the center there. That's dead on the money right there. 1.25 inches. Like my ruler a little bit better than that. That's 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and 1/2 inch. Let's see where we're at here. Dead square right on the money. I say we tack this sucker in, get her tacked good. Let's see where that's at. And that shows that's on the daggum money. Time to get some crackling eggs going. Burn her in. See if we can knock out half of it. Gotta get comfortable when you weld. Yeah, looking good. Do this other one real quick, and we'll let that cool just a little bit, and then we're gonna zip that thing off and let it set flat on the daggum spring. It's about ready. We'll do the outside first, actually. No, maybe not. I think I'll do the inside first, or the outside. Lock her in tight. Here we go. If I can see it. Can't even see it. I need to be right here. I can see that one actually. I may just have to stretch across it a bit. There we go. That wasn't doing much, just holding it up there tight, kind of. Let's do it. There's the little piece, the little bitty sliver. Okay, got it. Woo! Daggum. It's like them freaking horseshoes with the chain on them. That looks great. get my bolts tomorrow for that. Get that cinched down. That'll be ready to go. Then we can pull the chassis off the axles, and I'll flip those around and finish them off, slick them all up good. Cap them off. I'm gonna go ahead and weld that tube in there too while I'm in there, since I can get to about maybe a third of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and weld it to the outside rails just for extra strength. Won't hurt it a bit. But I can guarantee you, if my welds break, there's something wrong with the car. It's off the road or something, going off a cliff. That'd be the only way they'd break, because those look pretty darn good right there. Yeah, that's gonna work perfect, guys. And it lines up right on those bones just right. I get the short bones in there, they'll go right there to the middle, and we're set. We are set, man. Let's see where we're at here. It's level, bubbles right in the daggum middle. Yep. Let's check this one out right here. Dead square right on the money. You can't beat that. That's going to get the fenders down low. It's going to get the body down. I mean, you can see where that's almost just right on the daggum axle, which is perfect, because I'll set that body on there. We'll probably do the body next week. See if we can set it on there. I think we're going to have to trim. I know I said that I was going to be able to set the subframe rails right inside there, but I measured it again and it was just shy of, that's hot, 35 inches, just shy of 36 inches. So I think I might have to maybe just trim 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch maybe of that bottom flange on there, just to get this section in, and it'll just be from about right in front of that wheel well to the back there, and it'll go right in there. It's got a little bit of final stuff to do to it, but I'm gonna have to pull it completely off the axles in order to do that, and I'll bring it in here and lay it on the floor and burn that sucker in again. Cap these, do the gussets, and then I'll get that sucker tightened down with some bolts and the bottom blocks. Anyway, that's it. We're gonna move forward full steam ahead, y'all. Appreciate you guys watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Catch you later.